Might be TMI, but those first couple calls when I was about 5 minutes early to the meeting, I would have to run to the bathroom and I felt like I could not actually make it to these meetings. Like I was so anxious that I was gonna like fumble the bag or like people, like I had this imposter syndrome that I knew was normal, and I had in the back of my head that it was like, it was common and I knew I was gonna get over it. But in the moment, I was like, this is not for me. Like I need to probably like refund them, give them all their money back. But yeah, that's just me being a slightly anxious person, and that happened for like the first 10 calls. Have you ever felt that moment where the next big improvement in your life or the next big goal just feels impossible to reach? Start to tell ourselves that we're not ready yet, we're not skilled enough, or we just lack the confidence completely. We end up freezing, ends up being for weeks, sometimes even years. But the truth is, big leaps are not just in one jump. They're actually in a small series of lily pads, small steps that take you to success. We do not see them usually because we're staring at the big dream, the big goal, and we forget to look down at what's right in front of us, step by step. Another analogy I like to use for this one is thinking of like a dark, foggy pathway where you can't see the end. Using those small steps, those daily non-negotiables, as your lantern to guide you through the end of the foggy path. You don't know what steps you're going to take, but as long as you keep one foot in front of the other, you will find where you need to be. Back in November, when I launched my coaching offer, I was scared. Like I literally didn't have the full conviction in myself that it took to get this thing going. Now that I'm looking back on it, I'm noticing that it was probably just a big leap that I wasn't ready to face because I didn't have the conviction in myself that I could even do it. After just a few weeks of having my offer launched, I had about 15 students. And yes, it was overwhelming, but it was actually very satisfying knowing that I was able to overcome the person that was afraid to even take just one student. A few weeks after that, people started to get their first viral video, grow their followings as intended. It was very reassuring to know that all the work and effort I put into my own page, I was able to reflect that onto someone else's. When I launched my first coaching offer, I was scared. Not scared of the hard work it was gonna take, but scared I didn't have anything real to offer. I didn't really know that this was even a viable offer for a business at all. In the back of my head, I thought, what if I just let everybody down? What if I just taking their money, not helping them get to the goal they wanted? I took that small step every day anyways. I posted about it, I got on calls, and I talked to people. It might be TMI, but those first couple calls when I was about 5 minutes early to the meeting, I would have to run to the bathroom and I felt like I could not actually make it to these meetings. Like I was so anxious that I was gonna like fumble the bag or like people, like I had this imposter syndrome that I knew was normal, and I had in the back of my head that it was like, it was common and I knew I was gonna get over it. But in the moment, I was like, this is not for me. Like I need to probably like refund them, give them all their money back. But yeah, that's just me being a slightly anxious person, and that happened for like the first 10 calls. I kept reminding myself that if it felt like it was out of my comfort zone, it was probably good for me, unless it was like drugs or something. But I knew that if I deemed it as something that was like intentionally a good thing that moved me in the right direction, and it felt really hard, that it was getting me out of my comfort zone and building me for more. Amazing happened. My students started to get their own viral videos. They started to actually have their own momentum, and it felt like a huge weight lifted off my shoulder that I was actually able to do this and help people improve their lives. The way they would show up to the call the next week, so confident, so driven, inspired me to do more as well. And then it really hit me. I did not need to be perfect. I just needed to be one lily pad ahead of my students so that I can guide them along to the end of the pond. So whatever it is you're scared to start, a project, a brand, a big dream, stop looking at the end of the pond and start thinking about where those lily pads lie to get you to the other side. Most importantly, fear does not equate to being unqualified. Sometimes it just means that you're standing on the edge of something so important to you, and that's gonna be a catalyst for growth in the future. Starting small and staying consistent is probably one of the biggest things that's helped me in my journey. Now, with all that being said, I know it's difficult to really transform your life in one day. That's why we take small incremental changes to transition us into the person we want to be. If any of this helped you today, I hope this video found you at a great time. If you're a creator, an entrepreneur that wants to work with me directly, link is going to be in the description below. See you next time.